everyone, welcome to Kelly's Creative Stamping. Today we are working on part 3 of the Magnolia Lane Sweet Sweet Journal project. This is the final part before the flip through, so I hope you're here today. The only thing you're going to need other than what was on the list is some either Whisper White cardstock or the Whisper White thick cardstock. I'm using the Whisper White thick today. We're also going to get into our Magnolia Lane Memories and More card pack. And in a video that I started doing this before, and then had some technical issues, I'd already gone through and picked out a selection of the small ones to use, as well as some of these are going to be great for journaling cards, as well as a couple of the vellums. Now, I don't know if I'll use the vellum as a whole sheet or if I'll break it down. I also pulled out some of the bigger cards that I can use for covers in some of the books, add to the covers of the journaling books that we did last week. And we are using, and I also pulled out, we have these in the Magnolia Some More card pack that we may use some of these, such as the notes or this week, days like these, even the washi trims. And then we've got the flowers that we can do these in clusters and raise them up and give us some dimension on some of our tags. We're going to do tags and pockets and tuck spots today. I did a tuck spot in the first video before things went awry. And what I did was I colored in the image. I'm using the Petal Pink, the Mossy Meadow, Old Olive, and So Saffron. And I colored in the first one. And then I just cut blanks. Got a burr on this one. Let me see if I can get it out. I cut out 3 additional shapes of that just from white cards, the Whisper White cardstock. And here's the thing, if you want something that has a little bit heavier weight than your cardstock, if you glue multiple layers together, this will give you the impression of using chipboard. So this is a great way to make your own chipboard. And it'll seem kind of flimsy at first when you first do it, but as the glue dries, it takes on a weight and it'll become a bit heavier. And because I haven't colored this one yet, I'm not going to glue these together. But as it dries, this takes on quite a bit of weight. And it will be a nice firm spot for you to use as a corner tuck, which is what we're going to do with that one. Okay, I also started to cut out one that we're going to use for a tuck spot. Probably in a corner, I'm thinking, because based on the width. But this is 4 1/4 inches by 5 inches. And then to get the scalloped border on top, this is one of the dies from the Magnolia Lane Stamps and Die Set. And what I did was I cut it right up to the edge. Laid this right up against the edge of my cardstock. Laid it on there flush. And that gave me the scallop border here. So we've got that one, and we're going to use this as a base for something, and especially since I've got a boo-boo there that I need to cover up. Also, remember we had these left over from our borders that we did last week. So we've got these pieces we can add. This one would be perfect to add on here and put a little bit of color on there. We could do that. We may hang on to that one. I had also last week was playing and I cut out some of the flowers, and they are from these 2 dies here. Cuts out the solid shape, and then you get the petal layers. And I did those in the Petal Pink and the basic black, and added some leaves. So we've got those to play with. Before I forget, beginning immediately and through the life of this catalog, so through June of next year, and I'll put a picture of the papers that they are using, but they are putting together a 20 card pack of the Magnolia Lane papers. They have chosen 2 designs of the double back sheets. And so you will get 10 of each of the 2 sheets, giving you a 20 card pack. And I think that's awesome. I wish we'd had that deal when we started this, but that's okay. If you want to add to your journal, you want to make more, or use this one and you want to make sure you've got more papers for cards, this is going to be an awesome card pack to have. So I will make sure that this paper pack information is on the blog post. So you'll have that, and you know, as always, my blog link is listed below. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, back to this. Now that my brain is settled down and I know where I'm at, I think I do want to add this scallop piece to this. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this in place so it can start drying. And I probably should have had me a piece of scrap over here to lay this on. But we're just going to run the glue, and remember, not up to the edges. It will take care of the edges when you glue it into place. So we'll go ahead, and I am going to lay a piece under this though. So if I don't get it right on the edge, I'm not going to get it on my work surface. I know, that's what the pad is for, right? But then if I want to go back and work on it anywhere, I don't want the glue spot in the way. Now we've still got that burr showing, and I'm okay with that, because I'm going to cover it up with, I think I'm going to use one of these, a couple of these, and let's lay one of these right over top of this burr, right there. Now if you'll notice, it sticks out of back and there's sticky back here. Use your embossing buddy and just pat it on the back, and that powder will take up, will cover the adhesive, and then it's not sticky anymore. Multiple use for your embossing buddy. Okay, this one, same thing. But I want to bring this one up on dimensionals. So let me bring this up. I think I want to put a couple of little ones on here. And I know I've got my stamping, there we go. Let's use the actual stamping ones, since it's not my miscellaneous here. So let's go ahead and put them in place. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, before I take this paper backing off, I'm just going to go ahead and position this where I want them. Because when I raise this up, I don't want it to stick anywhere. So while that paper's still in place, I'm going to come back with my embossing buddy and slap it over the back, and then that won't be sticky anywhere else on that flower. Blow it off a little bit, get rid of the excess powder. Make sure you dust off your fingers before you take the tape off. Otherwise, you're liable to transfer it to your dimensional, and then your dimensional's not going to stick. So make sure you tap off your fingers too. And we're just going to tuck this one and raise it up just like that. We've got leaves behind there, but let's add a little bit of washi trim to this. Ooh, or we could, yeah, let's add the washi trim. Let's do the pink, I think. Down here on the bottom, and let's bring it up from the bottom a little bit. And see how straight we can get this or not. I know me, straight is not my strong suit. You all know that by now. And put that back in place. And then come back with one of the sprigs. Okay, that leaves us plenty of room for journaling on here. Also gives us the whole back. Now let's figure out where we want to put this and how we need to put it into our book. Still thinking I need something below this here. I haven't quite figured that out yet, but I will. Okay. We have these here. Have not done anything with that book yet. Okay, embossing buddy, here you go. Because apparently I've got adhesive on there sticking. And if you've got the glue eraser, you could even probably come back in with that and take this off of here with the glue eraser. And I may try and do that later. There we go. Got it. Got it, got it, got it. I love when a plan comes together. Okay. Still going to have a little bit of that adhesive on there. Try and come back to the embossing buddy. Okay. We did this flip here. We didn't have anything here. Pocket's too wide for that. That would almost work there on that pocket, but we need to have something here to take that up. Don't like that, but got a plan. Okay, this is just going to fit in here. Just. We're not going to have a lot of wiggle room. So we need to, if that was 4 1/4, we can, it's going to be tight. If we go into that center, you know what? I think we're going to trim that down just a hair to make it fit where I want it. Oops, guess not. Guess not. Okay. The next one we'll know to make smaller. But since I didn't decorate this pocket, let's do this one on here. That will work. And I can cover up that whole front. Now here's the trick. If I take, aha, got it, got it. Okay, this was, what did I say, this was 4 1/2. So if we do this one at 4 1/4 long, let's get a piece of our cardstock. And we want it to be approximately, okay, that'll work, that'll work. Let's go ahead and just trim this one off, smooth it up. And then we want it to be, let's smooth it up first, that's nasty. So one thing about using scraps is you have to figure out how to clean them up before you do anything with them. But this will work, this will work. Okay. Now we have this at 1 3/4. Just go ahead and make it 1 1/2 just because it'll make it easy for measuring. At there. Okay, we got it 1 1/2, so we need to score at the 3/4 mark. I want to make sure it's flush up there. Score that and give it a good score so you make sure it's going to stay. And give it a crease. I don't have my bone folder over here again this week. I swear I need to get 2 of those. So I've got one handy somewhere else. And you know what? I really don't think I want this wide. So let's, now that we've got that scored line in there and we know we have room to work, let's go ahead and trim this down. Doesn't have to be perfect. That'll work. Okay, and then where did our pocket go? Where did our pocket go? We lost it. Where did it go? There it is. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the score tape or the tearing tape and go down along this edge here. Just like that. Remember, if you don't have your score tool, you can use your scissors to burnish that in. And we're going to do that on both sides. Run a strip of the tearing tape down there. Just like that. Okay, now I want this to be on this side of the journal, so let's put, basically what we're doing is we're creating a hinge, so this becomes a flip. And lay that right up against the edge. And we'll take this off the other side and lay this one right up against the edge. just like that. And see, it matches up perfectly. And now we have room to write here. We have room to write here. And if we wanted to, we could cover that up with one of these that's a little bit bigger that has some journaling. I don't want that. Well, maybe. But my thingy's going the wrong direction. Too bland. This one's kind of cool. And we could do that. That would work. That would work. So let's do that one. And I know I had a glue open here. And we'll just make use of one of our journaling cards, one of our Memories and More card pack pieces. Just like that. See, I was putting that flower down on the bottom corner. We'll slide this over and kind of center it on here a little bit. There we go. There. There's our first decorative element for this book. Now, let's go back here and look and see. Where did we take that one out of this? Now, if you want to put something here, you could make that as a flip. We've got that here, or bent on our leaf here. A little too much alike. Adds a little color, a little interest. A little too much dark, but if we were to put this here, we could center that one there. We could do that, come up to the edge. And we could come back with one of these other cards and create a journaling spot, a little dark. Okay, let's do this. Got that figured out. The idea is to just sit and play. This is, as Carol says, this is your journal. Don't have to copy mine. Don't have to do it exactly. Basically, all I have you doing is I'm giving you some ideas, or if nothing else, getting your thought process going so you have an idea of where you want to go. Now, I'm trying to set this to where the wider piece of that silver band shows, and I'm buttoning this right up against the edge of that pocket opening. Okay. Now, I want to put this here, but I don't want to glue the whole thing down. I want to create it as a pocket, or as a band. So let's take and just put the tear and tape on the short corners, short sides, just like this. Okay, burnish that down, whether you got a marker, pair of scissors, your thumbnail. You just want to keep that handy. And you know, if you don't have a score tool for burnishing, the back of a kitchen spoon will work just as well. And we'll take this off. Put that on place just like that. Now, we know that we've lost a 1/4 inch on either side, so that's 4 inches wide, take off a 1/2 inch. So let's make a tag 3.5 inches by 4, counting the topper. 3.5 by 4 off of our Whisper White, extra thick here. 4.5 by, let's see, 3.5 by 4. This is 4 here, so let's cut it 3.5 this way. Okay. Now let's see how this is going to fit first before we do anything to it. A little tight, so let's take it down to 3. And we could even go narrower, just to 2.5. The idea is just to create a journaling spot here. That will work. That will work. Okay. Now we could leave this blank on the back, or we could cover it with that so we had interest on the back or on the front. Let's do that, and let's put this on the top. Let's do that. Let's do that. I'm going to pull my scrap paper back over here. Now I'm still thinking about where I want to put that chipboard flower for a corner tuck. The one thing about envelope journals is you don't have a lot of room for corner tucks per se, because your envelopes and your journals take up a lot of your space. And then we could either mimic this one on the back like that, or we could do this. Oops, can't do that. I got it going the wrong direction. So I guess this is what we're going to do here. And let's do that. What is our punch outs? What do we have for our punch outs? Okay, I want to save those. Got an idea for those. But if we take and I'm putting it just at the base of this, following this pattern here. And lay that right in against that top line. Kind of use that as my guide. And then this one, so that we make sure we get a good adhesion, we'll make sure we're going the right direction first. And we will put glue all over the entire thing here. Okay, just like that. Okay, and that'll take just a minute. Now, if we wanted to come in here, we could add a little sparkle on that flower with our Winkostella. And that just, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, how it really brings out that petal pink and adds some shimmer to it. And I'm just coloring in all the spaces that are open that have the petal pink. I think my Winkostella is about empty. There we go. There. Now, that needs something, and I have a pearl here. Handy. And glue on my fingers, of course. And let's put that pearl right there at the top. Add a little bling. And there's that one. And then we'll go back in here where we added that. And now we have journaling spot doing double duty there. Just like that. Now let's think about where we want to put. Let's see, we've got this book here that goes in this envelope. And you know, I thought I brought my corner rounder over. Let me grab it really quick. Okay, my storage unit says that it's over here somewhere. There it is. This detailed trio is one of the best punches we have because you can do so much with it. But as I talked about last week, the part that goes inside the envelope pocket, if you round off the corners, it will go in easier. And I'm just going to do that. So I'm not rounding the fronts, just the back. And then we'll bring this up. You'll see how much easier that slides in there once you round that corner off. So while the trio punch is sitting here beside me, let's go ahead and round off this other one. And just because the punch is here, you still want to push down in the center of the punch, like that. some have noticed that if you, because this part is here, that this is the only place you want to punch. But if you push down straight, you'll get a much better punch. And I think this is the other one I need to detail. Okay, and then we'll take care of that one. Okay, what I want to focus on right now is putting some type of a belly band in the front here. And I think I want to make use of the washies that are here. And something from off the Memories and More card pack. Oh, you know what? Let's make use of that. Let's put this on there. And let's cut this to where we get these two petals here off of there. So let's trim that down and let this be our guide for how wide we make our belly band. Now remember, don't throw any of your scraps away. You can color those and use those on other projects. And that comes out to be about 2 inches. And then let's put a mossy meadow behind that. And you'll see how I keep all of my scraps in a full-size 8.5 by 11 page protector, but when they get small that I can still punch the leaves and stuff out of, then I put some inside of a smaller photo page protector like that. Now we did this 2 inches. How wide is that? Let's see what width we have to work with. Okay, I'm going to say we have 4 1/8. 4 1/4 would be very tight. Let's go 4 1/4. So we want to take this down to 4 1/4, and because I want to keep these two full flowers as much as I can. That worked out perfect. Okay, so then we need this 4 1/4 by 2 1/2. We got 4 1/4 here, close enough. So let's do the 2 1/2 here, off of our mossy meadow. Take it down to 4 1/4. There. Little wide. Let's take a 1/2 inch off of that. Was that 2 inches? No. Our belly band only came out to be 1 1/2. That's why that's so much wider. There we go. Measure once, measure twice, cut once, huh? Guess that should have worked for me. Now, we've got this, and we have the peach washi on here, which is just wide enough, or because that's going to be too wide. That's going to be too wide. Maybe? Maybe. Let's color this first. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to color the petal pink. And I'm going to see how it looks with the mossy meadow coming through and doing the leaf on its own. So let's get our petal pink in here and get some color going on this. And I know it's really hard to see. We'll get there. The other day I was coloring one of these and I didn't realize that the petals were not leaves, and I started coloring the petals mossy meadow. Oops. And I don't think I'm going to color these outside ones. I think I'm going to focus just on these 3 here in the center of the belly band and let them be my color. Okay, and then we'll come back through and scribble those in with the lighter petal pink. And after it dries a minute, then I'm going to come back in again and I'm going to hit them with the Winkostella. You notice I'm not stroking, I'm going more in a circular motion. You'll get a more even coverage that way, and you won't see streak marks in your pen while you're waiting for it to dry. So I just kind of circle it around, and it makes it easy for it to flow into corners and tips without going outside the lines, so you don't have bleed over. Do just like this. Okay, I'm going to wave that around here for a minute. Go back over the petals with the Wink of Stella, and that'll give them some shine on that belly band. Just like that. See, I'm not detailed, I'm just giving them a whoosh. Whoosh. I know we in Missouri say whoosh differently than most people. And I'm going to go back, I think, with the lighter So Saffron and put a bit of color in that center. Just so there's a contrast in the color there. I don't want to do the leaves because I'm afraid then that's going to make this too dark. Didn't add a lot of color, but let's see what happens if we bring in let's see before we cut how this does. It may be just what we need. Maybe just what we need. Lay that on there. Maybe that's where we need to bring in the pink. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. Let's see, what was that? This was 1 1/2, so let's do this one 1 7/8 by 4 1/4. 1 7/8 by 4 1/4. Let's do the 1 1/4 here first. Go 1 7/8. We've got, whoops, 1 7/8 is going to be too small, too wide. So let's go back to 1 3/4. Let's see how that one does. Gives us just a little bit of our green. Gives us that pink that we wanted without using the washi tape from the kit. That's what we want. That's what I want. All right, now, I can use this to create 2 tucks, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a whoosh of the and because I don't want this to show through in lines, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take a wet wipe and I'm going to just stroke that on there, and almost like I'm painting it on there with a brush, and lay this over top of that piece of petal pink. Wash me a bit a little too thin. There we go. Let's do that. And just get that wash right under here. There we go. Just like that. And then I want to take the dimensionals, and I've talked about this before, where you don't waste any of your dimensional, even after you've cut away, taken all your dots off. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut this strip off right here on the outside edge, just like that. And I'm going to cut it to match the edge here. Just a hair shorter, just like that, and I'm going to cut a second one here. do this. And what this will do, it kind of does the same thing as that hinge did, as it buys us a little extra space. But it lets the belly band become a dual belly band. So we'll do this. We'll center this one on here. Put my fingers out of the way so I can see center-ish. And then we're going to do the same thing. And I want to cut off a different section of that if I can get a long one here. Because I don't want to waste any of my O's. Cut that one in half. And this one will raise this belly band up just a little bit, so we've got a little bit of room to move stuff in and out. Just like that. And then this mossy meadow will let this green stand out away from this peach. And it will do that. Now, how much room do we have to work with in there? Not a lot. So I'm going to say we probably have, let's do a 3-inch tag. 3 1/4 by 4. So let's put one that's let's see, what have we got? There's 4. So let's do one that's 3 1/4. And let's do that smaller one. Let's just leave it as it is. So it wound up being 4 inches by 2 inches and a 4 inches by 3 1/4. And I want to see what this 3 1/4 does. I may cut it down. Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, this one, then we can come back and we can decorate here. Just like this. And we put a piece of that washi tape from off of the Memories and More card pack. Which is, it's paper washi, it's a sticker strip, but it's basically the same thing. You know what I'm doing. Okay, now this one gets a little tricky. I wish I could make these to where I could double them. I'm thinking. And you know what? Let's see what we have for dies. Those are a little bigger than I want to do. Don't really want to do those. We could do leaves. I really don't want to do leaves for a pull tab. So, let's do one of these. Let's do one of these. And before, actually, I should do that before I take it off of there. It is 2.5 inches. So we want to score this at the 1 1/4. Let's score that at the 1 1/4, just like that. And that wasn't exactly center, but it was close. And then we can, this is the bigger tag. We can, you know what? No, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it. Center it as best we can. And I didn't come way down because I want to save as much of my journaling space on that side as I can, since it's going to be the front. And then we can come back in with one of these decorative pieces down here at the bottom, just like that. And these. If we take and cut those little there like that. Cut off the ellipses. Then we can center this one right on there like that. And that makes one tag to go in there like that. And then we've got the smaller one. And let's see. Let's use the washi on that one. Where's the rest of that one? Let's use this one on here. I really want to use one of these for the back, but I'm so afraid it's not going to show up. What I need to do is be able to make a second one of these. So let's find our... Okay. I don't want to put it down there really hard because I don't want it to stay there. But I'm going, oh. Well, let's see if I can pull this back up. I'm going to wind up having to glue it into place anyway. So it's okay if it doesn't stick, but I want to turn it over this way. There we go. That way any pen that I don't erase. This is my Fusion from Pentel that is an erasable pen. They have become my favorite pens to use in the office. And normally I would have used my pencil, but I didn't have one handy. So, okay, let's cut this out really quick. Let's cut this one out really quick. And I know fussy cutting, watching somebody fussy cut is like watching paint dry. And I'm trimming this out. If I have to go back and retrim it after I glue it onto the flower, I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's a junk journal. Okay, there's that. Get rid of my piece off of here. There's my flower. And yeah, that's going to go on the back side just like that. So before I do anything, I want to come in here with my pen. And get as much of my pen lines off there as I can. Should have went ahead and did the front because then I'd have hit it with the pen, with the flower itself. But that's okay. As you can see, it disappears pretty well. And this isn't a right away have to erase kind of thing. It will disappear. It will disappear over a period of time too. So let's put this, let's put a piece of this one up here. And I always flip it over and then come back with my scissors at about a 45-degree angle. That lets me cut up close to my border without cutting into anything. And then we're going to take and glue that one right onto there. And then come back with our, make sure we're going the right direction with our leaf here. And I know I'm probably out of frame up here. I'm trying to keep it up here and keep my workspace to where I can lay things. And then we can, the idea is to line this up with the flower, just like that. And there, now we've got a pull tab there. And I think we've got enough of this. Nope, not quite enough of the peach. Not quite enough of that peach. But that's why we have two of them. So we can come back and do that. Oh, you know what? Let's do the leaf. Let's do the leaf washi across the bottom here. Let's do that. Remember, come back to the 45-degree angle. Just like that. I guess it would help if I put it back on the trim. There we go. And then this one will slide right into this one. And then we have a double belly band on the front. Okay, I'm still looking to see where I want to put my big flower chipboard that's buried over here on the desk somewhere. I had it here somewhere. It went away on me. There it is. See, this is going to be too much here against that one. We could put a solid here and do that. And then just kind of, we could do that. We could do that. But you know, I almost really like it against that crumb cake. Maybe I'll just leave it against the crumb cake. We could do that. Let's do that. So we want to be able to tuck stuff in, so we're not going to glue it on there flat. We need to make sure we've got adhesive here, here, and here. So we want to follow this line here with our adhesive, and we want to use, you know what, let me go see if I've still got some of my strips over here. Maybe in the bottom of my dimensionals box. I thought I had them in a separate box, but maybe not. Let's see what we've got here. Huh, yeah, there they are. There they are. I'm not sure if we still have those available, and I will look. But I like these for doing long things. And let's see, we want to make sure that we're going across this edge. And the neat thing with this is you can kind of conform it around. So you can bend it. I like that part a lot, that I can conform it to an area. There's that one. And this one. That one's going to hang over a little bit, so let's trim him off. And we want to come back up. Let's try just coming up here around this one. The girls and I are going to go out and finish planting flowers this evening. We've only got a 20% chance of rain most of this week, so hopefully we can finish getting flowers in. My husband bought me a new toy. He got a really good deal from a buddy of his on a golf cart that I can use for hauling stuff around the yard. He went to the golf cart graveyard, of all places, and found a dump bin for the back, so I can haul dirt and plants and whatever I want around the yard. There. Now, we need a card there, so let's look and see what we have from our, these, and I'm trying not to lose that. There's more of our sticker sheets. Don't want to lose that. Trying to keep stuff in camera really limits me to how much I can. See, that was too big, so we got to use one of our small cards. Can't use our big ones. We got to use one of our small ones. So let's go in here and see what we've got. These big, and you know, we can take and we can glue a couple of these together back to back. Like, we don't necessarily need birthday in here, so we could glue that one to the back of something else and give us 2 journaling spots. So that's an awesome. That one I want to keep that away. This one would be good. This one would be good. Let's do those 2 together, I think. And we'll cover up that happy birthday, but we also have happy little moments. I like that. So squiggle, squiggle, squiggle around our edge, color inside the line. Okay. And I want to add a little color to this, so let's go in here and see. I don't think it'll bleed through now that we've got the back on there. If we do, I'll know for next time, won't I? Let's give that a whirl. in here with our light. Trying to hurry and trying to be careful all at the same time. But that's where the coloring in circles comes into play, because I can kind of go a little faster than I normally would if I was trying to paint each individual stroke. Just like that. And I also wouldn't have to color them completely. I could leave some of them white around here, and that would work too. I want to come back with this. Which one have I got? I've got the light old olive. And come back here and add just a little bit of color to these leaves. Nothing extensive, just a pop of color from them. We've been kind of ignoring the leaves. There we go. Oops, let's get this couple of leaf points down here. I think they might have been flower buds, but we're going to treat them like leaves just because they're there. One thing to remember when you're using your Stampin' Blends is to make sure that you snap your caps on, that you hear that little snap. Because if they're not and any air gets in there, then your Stampin' Blends is ruined. And there we go. That'll sit right in there. Probably could have even used a slightly shorter one, but I'm happy with that. Okay, so let's start here at the top. We've got this. We need something here. This would be a good place to put one of our bigger ones that has a little less, and we'd maybe want to create a border with it, maybe. Don't think I want to use that one. It's going the wrong direction. But we can combine these. That would fit on there okay, but it's going to cover all of that, and I don't think I want to do that. But this would work. Put this one against a bit of the Mossy Meadow. Yeah, let's do that. This is 4 inches by oh, well, gee, I knew that. It's a Memory Dex card. It's 3 by 4. So let's cut this one 3.5 by 4.5. I may take it down to 1/4, but let's start. We can always take away, we can't put back. And see how that looks. Yeah, because 4.25 will fit that. Yeah, let's go ahead and take it down. So I've got 4.5. Let's take it down to 4.25 because 4.5 is not going to fit our width. So let's go to 3.25 by 4.25. And that will work much better. That will work much better. And I don't know how I'm doing on time. I hope I'm not going too far over, but this is the last one, and I want to be able to do a flip through when we're done. So there's that. And let's see, I don't think we need anything else there. It just needed to be something. This would be a good place for you to maybe title your book. That would work. And let's not make this a tuck spot. Let's just go ahead and just glue it down as it is. Glue it in place. Oops. Right side up would be nice. About messed that one up, didn't I? Right side up would be nice. There we go. Okay, and then we've got this book, and this book's got the dangle on the inside. We could do something in here. That would be a good place to maybe tuck in another one of these. But I think I'd want something on the inside of there first. So let's flip it out. Because that crumb cake is just too bland for me for that one. So let's go back over here and see what we've got in our scraps. I don't know if that one's... That would create a nice frame. That would create a nice frame, but I think I'd want it to be... see. This is where live could come in because I'd really love to see comments and suggestions. And I like that, but I don't like that it's so narrow. And that one's even more narrow. And this is going to be too much peach. So let's see what we've got here. What was the back of that one? It was, okay, it was the baby buds. So let's go over here and see if we can find a sheet with the baby buds. There's plenty of these, but that's too much. It's too much. It needs to be the stripe. And that one's not big enough. That one is too much to that one. So let's see if we've got, do we have baby buds left? Doesn't look like we have baby buds left. Apparently that was a favorite paper. Apparently that was a, aha, there we go. Okay, so we need to cut that one. I'm sorry. So I wipe you out. I'm so sorry. Okay, so this one needs to be, probably ought to do this one. Let's take it down and let's do this one 3 3/4, and that'll leave the craft 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. And I want the stripes going up and down. Good gravy. 3 3/4 this way by 5 3/4 this way, and that will leave a little bit of the border for the craft to still show through. And then we can trim this one down just a hair where it's at. And I'm going to go ahead and, I'm thinking I want to make it a tag. I really am. So let's do this way. Just like that. And let's take this one. And where did we put our sticky pieces? Here they are. These are sticky pieces here. And keep in mind, whenever you raise anything up, you're adding bulk to your book. But I'm okay with that. I like the bulkiness, so I'll try and remember to show you the book I'm working on for the girls for summer. They're each going to make their own with a little guided help. But then I've got one where I'm keeping multitude of pictures in. And the book is winding up to be, has 4 signatures, and it's 2.5 inches thick. Okay, now I think I'm going to glue this down first. It'll be easier to glue this down into place without having the bump of the dimensional on there. So let's do this first. Okay. Bring this back over. Center it on here as best I can. We know my center is not always center. Then we've got our paper off of here. And we can do this right onto there. Okay, and then we need another tag, and we're going to do, let's do it probably about a 2.5 inch, 3 inch tag. Let's do a 3 inch tag. Let's make it 3 inches. And I'm going to keep track of that. I was looking for a piece of my cardstock here. 3 inches by 4.5. 3 inches by 4.5. That ought to work. And, oh, you know what? I really like that. Let's do that. Let's put this one on there. And we'll trim this down to fit on there. And so that I make sure that it fits, that it's semi-straight. Let's do that. Okay. And that will fit in just like that. Now, if you notice, we've got this and it could slide all the way through. So what I'm going to do is two things. Number one, I think this is where I'm going to put this, I think. I'm going to put that on there. I like that. So let's do that. Staying within the black. And make sure I don't go over. Let's take and pull that right there. And that will give me plenty of room to put stuff. Just like that. And we can do that. I think I want to add a little bit more glue under there, because I want that to stick. Where'd our baby wipe go? There we go. Try to put it down so it's sticking on the paper and not onto me. But here's a trick. And let's go back, and we're going to cut out one of these really quick from our paper. That one must still be on my work table somewhere because it's not in my box. Oh, there it is, right there in front of me. Duh. Okay, and let's look at for our papers here. And I'm going to cut one out of this. And let's cut this one out of the way. I got glue on my fingers. Everything's sticking to me again. And let's put a little piece of our washi there. That's buried under everything. And I'm also going to cut a couple out of white. Now the neat thing of this is I can stick a piece of white under there, and I can cut out multiple of these at once. So I'm going to do that. I'll lay that down here really quick. Whoops. Come off my mark. Apparently I need an extra piece of washi on there, because my flower was not going to cut out where I wanted it to. Okay. So let's put that on there. Put that on there. Okay. And then I'm going to come back through and I'm going to cut two more white ones really fast. We'll see if I need it. We'll try this first. I might just need only the one. We'll see. Get our die off there and back in the box before I lose it. Okay. Garbage. Okay, see, this is going to let me give this, it's not going to be quite as thick as the chipboard, but it will. This glue is everywhere, I'm telling you. I love the mono adhesive, the liquid adhesive, but I seem to get it everywhere without fail. Okay. See, we've got that wriggle room, so we can line that up. And what I can do is I can put this right down here at the bottom, and I think I'm going to cut this little knob off here. Cut the stem off, just like that. And I'm going to put a couple of pop dots on the dimensionals on the back of this. Sorry, I was a crafter long before I was an SU Dem, and everything was pop dots to me. Just the way it is. We'll put a couple of the mini dimensionals on there. And pop these off. And what this does is it creates a stop. So when I put the tag in here, the tag won't fall out of the book. How cool is that? Another tip from Carol Tinson. Gotta check out So Carol. She is super cool. And then this is where this book goes here. Except I need to put it on there the right way. I just put it on backwards. I had the book upside down. There we go. Now remember, next month we're going to be working with the Artful set. See, and this is getting pretty full, pretty chunky with our dimensionals and everything that we're adding here. Now we've got this, And this was a flip, so we had journaling spot here. Let's add a journaling card under there. So we've got a place there to actually write, and I like that. And with this one, I have lines to follow. We need to go, how wide is that? Well, let's use our card here. If we go all the way over to there, if we go to cut off 2 widths of squares off of there. We cut off 2 widths of squares. We are good, I think. And I managed to leave a burr behind, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that just a little bit narrower. Get rid of that burr. And then we can glue this one down here, and we'll have journaling underneath. We can do that. Now, if we want to make it the same size as this was only 5.5 inches. So I cut this to 5.5 this way, and I cut it so that I left the pretty on the bottom. And then we're going to go back in and use our Tombow Mono, just like that. And we'll come back here. Now, able to make sure I get that on the back side, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this here, like this. And I've got just a little bit extra room there. I'm going to use that as a guide to lay that in, just like that. So then when I close this, I got that there, and that's too narrow, too narrow. This would go all the way down there, and I don't want to use anything decorative. I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. Now this one we managed to bend our book a little bit, but that's okay. It'll work. Okay, we are there. Let's put a journaling card here thingy on the front of this. Quite what I'm looking for. Not quite what I'm looking for. I have got cards and papers over here everywhere, and nothing where it belongs. There's another one. There. Okay, now we're making progress. That one's going to go the wrong direction. This one I kind of like. Kind of like that. Kind of like that one. But if I wanted, let's see what we got here. These have got a little bit more color, and I could always cut them down. Always cut them down. Oh, don't like any of those for in there. But I really wanted another journaling space. But if we put this on a scant piece, and instead of measuring, what I'm going to do, something I hardly ever do, is I am just going to put it on here where I want it, just a scant amount to show, just like this. And I mean just barely any of that mossy meadow to show. And then I'll come back with my paper trimmer. And I want just almost nothing of that of that mossy meadow to show through. Almost nothing. And that gives me a journaling spot on the outside. So there's that. Then remember we had this flip, and it tucked We had glued it down inside here, so we still have room. We could put something else in there. Where's our memory and more card pack? Let's pull them out and see what we've got here that we could actually tuck a couple of cards in there. One of those would be nice. That one would be good. Let's use those. Oh, wait a minute. We got a stripe one here. You use Happy Little Moments. Got that one out. Let's go with those two. We've got these two here. Blank on the back. And we could tuck those right in there. They're not going anywhere. And then we can always come back in and add. Here. We've got the journaling to do there. We've got room to journal here, 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 and the inside of that cover. And then we've got this journaling spot with the tag that we could journal front and back. That one's a little snug. I may still wind up going back and trimming that one. And then we've got this one that we created we've got this one that we created with the stopper. And then we've got this one that we put here. And then we've got the belly band. So I think we've done about all we can do to this Magnolia Lane Sweet Sweet Journal project. Everything will tie together nicely. I'm going to tuck that back in there for now so it can quit coming out. I'm going to do one more thing, I do believe. Let me tie this so it's closed and easier to work with. While I'm doing that, I want to remind you, we are going to be working with get to the right bundle here. It starts with the art bundle, and I will have the information for that on the blog on Saturday, so you can start thinking about what you need to order for that one. I want to go with Enjoy Today. I think that's going to be enough. But I also have a piece of news. Aside from that bundle, that new price on the paper, we also have a bonus days coming up. Now, if you are familiar with Stampin' Up! And have been a customer for a while, then you understand that bonus days are really, really cool. Because for every $50 you spend, you will get a $5 coupon to spend. See, for every $50 you spend in July, you will get a $5 coupon code to use in the month of August. So go in and get your stuff for our July project and rack up your bonus days dollars, and then you'll have the coupons that you can use towards our Free as a Bird kit that we're going to use in August. How's that? You'll get paid to journal. Isn't that cool? And I stamped on Enjoy Today here. And I think I want to add Celebrate. Enjoy Today. Days like these. Nope, I shouldn't have done that one. I shouldn't have done that one. But we'll make it work. We'll make it work. Don't have that one. Let's do this one. Because I want to put this on the front of here, but do I have any of the, well, this will work. It's not quite the color that I wanted, but it'll work if I've got a piece big enough here. I can make it work. Because what I want to do is I'm basically going to create a piece of chipboard with this, so it's got some dimension behind it. It's got a little bulk behind it. Because then I'm going to raise it up on the dimensionals, and I wanted it to be sturdy. And sometimes just having the sticker on the back just wasn't going to be enough sturdiness. And then we'll come back in and we'll add that. Oops. We'll add it if we remember to take the paper off so it actually sticks. How's that? Some days it doesn't pay to be me, people, I'm telling you. I'm history. Now I had the other dimensionals here, and I was keeping them handy so I could get a hold of them, and now they're gone. So we will use dimensionals instead. Let me see if I've got some of the bigger ones. The tiny dimensionals are a little too little for this. Let me see what I've got in my dimensionals box. They may not be Stampin' Dimensionals, but they'll work. They will work. Here's some of the bigger ones. Nope, that one's an empty sheet. That's not going to do me much good. Oh, all I've got is the minis in here. I need to order some of the big ones, apparently. These will work. Apparently, this is all the big ones that I have left. So I'm just going to lay these on here. And let's go ahead and put a third one in the middle, because I want that to be solid all the way around on both sides. Pull this off. Pull this off. And then I'm going to call this a day. The girls have been patient enough while I've been in here working. They are so good. And then I'm going to go ahead and plant this one right there, like that. And that is our Magnolia Lane Sweet Sweet Journal for the month of June. And lots of space to journal and keep memories. And I'd love to see how yours turns out. Leave me a link in the comment section below so I can come check out your book. Also, keep in mind, bonus days, all that information will be on the blog. The information about the new Magnolia Lane Designer Series paper pack will be available on the blog, as well as links to my store and anything else you need will be in the link section down below. If you like these journals, give me a button like. Never mind, it's going to be a long afternoon. Click the like button. I'd love to have you as a subscriber, and if you need a catalog so you can do all the shopping and work with me, and you do not have a demonstrator you work with, please let me know in the comments below, or use the contact form on my blog, and I will be sure to get catalog in the mail to you ASAP, because you're not going to want to miss the bonus days. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. Have a great evening, and creative blessings.